All right, so Josh, you were just in Annapolis. You've been traveling a lot, actually.
Yeah. I think last pod we were talking about me being in Toronto.
Yes. Yep. You were
I
just
was
in Canada.
Annapolis. Yeah.
Now you're in Annapolis, or just were.
Yep.
So how was it?
It's great. So I was there back in December and discovered this place and went back again and can confirm now that it is the best crab cake I've ever had.
Well, has to be in Maryland for sure. The best crab cake.
I felt that when I went the first time, but I was like, is it just a fluke? Was I just really hungry that day? You never know.
Yeah.
And this time confirmed it. So this place is called Chick and Ruth's Deli. It's in downtown Annapolis, and one crab cake is the size of what most people make is two.
Nice.
It's massive. It tastes amazing. And you got to try it if you, and it's not that expensive, but they,
if we have any Annapolis watchers or listeners,
just in Maryland in general,
let us know. Yeah.
If you're nearby. And though I think you can order them on their website. So
are you going to order some?
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, I guess get them there, but like,
oh, I thought you meant get them delivered to you.
Oh, I mean, maybe, but
that'd be sick.
But like, I'm talking for anybody that's more outside of our area and they are interested in checking it out. I think you can order some from their website.
Okay.
So that is Chick and Ruth's.
Okay. Some people will say I'm not a real Mainlander because I don't like crab.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we disown you.
Yeah, I know. I'm still an Old Bay guy though, so redeem myself a little bit. Love Old Bay. You have to like that at least.
Mm-hmm.
Put that on anything, just like hot sauce.
Yeah, it's better than hot sauce.
And it's different. I like both.
Yeah,
versatile. More Old Bay is, I guess, more versatile though, probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not a big hot sauce person, but yeah,
no.
give me some Old Bay on just about anything.
Yes,
it's savory.
Yes.
And sometimes sweet, like the caramel Old Bay from Fisher's Popcorn. Amazing. Right. Amazing. Hey, welcome back to Screen Time TV, a podcast where we cover the latest hot streaming shows and some other things like what we've been watching and Based or Waste, the famous game show, internet game show. So my name is Josh and this is my co-host Jared.
Hello. Glad to be here.
Yeah. And, so today we will be talking about Severance, the penultimate episode of season 2, episode 9. Then we will, have some Based or Waste and then what we've been watching and do we have any feedback?
We do not have
feedback this week.
Not this week.
All right.
But in about
let us know your thoughts, your final thoughts on getting here to the end of Severance season 2 and what you're thinking.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm sad that it's ending soon.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. It's been a wild ride. It's coming.
Hopefully it won't be 3 years again, though.
Yeah, I doubt it. Unless we have another pandemic or something else. It might
another strike.
It should only be more like 2. Because I feel like
hopefully
the high end shows like take about 2 years.
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into a little bit of what we've been watching then.
Yeah. Time codes also, if you want to skip around.
Yes, we always put the time codes if you want to skip right to the Severance coverage.
Yes.
But you'll be missing out on other things.
Yeah, you might discover
like how bad I am at Based or Waste.
Great show, yeah. Or discover a great show that we talk about that you've never heard of.
So yeah, what do you got for what you've been watching then?
I have 2 things.
Oh, me too.
Okay. I wonder if we're
no.
No, just straight up no. We're not going to have any.
I have
any
a feeling
crossover.
you did not watch the 2 things I have on my list.
Right.
One, you wouldn't be able to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, Vision, Apple Vision.
Yes.
I was like, what can I not watch? Yeah, that makes sense.
And you will want to watch this one.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
At some point, you're going to have to just sit down and spend an hour or so in it. But
what do you want to
start with that?
Yeah, I mean, you already mentioned it. Yeah, sure.
They dropped literally this past weekend. I don't think there was much of a hey, this is coming. It's Apple Immersive Metallica.
How'd they do it though? What was it?
And this is, I think, one of the most epic ones so far.
I'm sure. Yeah. Metallica's always great.
It's, I think, the longest they've done so far. It's like 20 minutes long.
Sick.
It is a like documentary style intro where you get a voiceover from, I think it's the lead singer, the main guy.
James Hetfield.
Yeah.
Okay.
Talking first. Everything's in black and white. But yet, which was interesting because I think a little bit of that like does take away a little bit of the immersive experience because it does feel more surreal and less real. And what's cool about the immersive, but that's just for like the doc style. And then after kind of he's done talking for a minute or two, whatever the intro, then it goes to them performing live a song while they're in Mexico City in this giant amphitheater.
Okay. I was wondering the context of how they
so they kind of cut between, so they end up doing 3 full live songs.
Nice.
And those are in color. And then when they, in between the songs, they kind of come back to the like doc style, and then they're talking to another person from the band, and then they go back to another song. And then and then at the end, the drummer does the last after the, like at the
Lars.
end.
Yeah. Okay.
And the other thing that made, again, being like the most epic one, they filmed these live performances with probably 15 different of these cameras.
Nice.
I mean, they literally have one right by the drummer the whole time. One like they have, and then they have like, one wide way back in the top of the stands. There's one like one's right on the stands, the fans. There's ones and like there's like one like kind of shut down like over. There's so many different camera angles that are cut in between for this live performance, and they're all the immersive 180.
Oh, man.
It's intense. It's great. It's awesome, and the sound design also is just so well done and mixed. And yeah, I was really impressed. And I mean, I'm not that I hate Metallica. I don't dislike Metallica, but it's not like I'm a huge Metallica fan.
That was my question. I didn't realize you were a Metallica fan at all.
I mean, I wouldn't say I am a fan.
Right.
I mean, I don't dislike the music in general. And 2 of the 3 songs I was familiar with. One of them I wasn't.
Let me guess 3 songs. I'm going to say there's one from their brand new album or newish album.
Maybe
I don't remember the name.
That's the one I didn't recognize.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it, but I know the song. And then I'm going to say Enter Sandman and Sabbath True.
I think you're right. Enter Sandman definitely. I don't know if that's the title of the other one. Let's we can probably.
I don't know. I'm
this
just
really quick.
I'm guessing like the biggest ones. Obviously, they have to do Enter Sandman with the Severance crossover.
Yes.
From season 1. Yeah. But no, also Enter Sandman is one of their biggest. But I'm trying to think because I don't think they would do a slow song because there's like one Unforgiven, stuff like that. But I'm figuring they probably did 3, bigger songs, not more of a ballad. So I'm gonna guess Sabbath True for the other one. Josh is checking in real time. If you're an audio listener,
the band's stadium filling clash. That was Whiplash 1 and Enter Sandman. Those are the 3 songs.
Oh, interesting. So they did do so they did one, which is one of their biggest like slower songs, but I didn't think they would do that for this kind of thing.
I'm like curious.
Whiplash.
I didn't know this was like
Okay.
They had this post on Apple's website, so I'm looking if it says how many cameras they used. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I definitely need to watch this. I will get my own Apple Vision when it goes down in price.
They had 65,000 people in this.
Is it Mexico, you said?
Yeah, Mexico City. Yeah.
Cool. I mean, they can go anywhere in the world and sell out.
Mm-hmm.
Even at this point now in their career. It's crazy.
Didn't see how many cameras they used.
Okay. Well, I'm so happy they did this because I keep asking about this, and I think you said they were going to continue to do more music stuff, which is awesome. Well, you said they're doing something with Bono.
Yeah, there's
at least Bono, and I guess not all of you too. Just
I mean,
Bono.
there's a thing coming out. On April 4th, they're releasing what they call VIP Yankee Stadium,
Okay.
where it's like a tour of. And then May 30th is Bono, Stories of Surrender, immersive.
Okay.
So yeah, they've got some other things coming a little bit different than some of the stuff we did before. But yeah, but that was really cool. Just
sounds awesome, man. Okay.
All right. Well, what's something you've been watching?
I'm going to start with The Righteous Gemstones, season 4, the final season. I don't think you really watch this show, do you?
No, I do.
Do you? Okay.
But I didn't finish season 3. Just kind of one of those things that kind of like got sidetracked and never came back.
Okay.
So my plan is to go back and finish that before I can watch season 4.
Well, I won't say anything really about like the first episode too much, but this is on HBO. This is the final season, which is sad because I love this show so much. But I'm sure Danny McBride is going to come to the end. That's true. And they do it. They decide to end it when they wanted to. Because I saw an interview with Danny McBride, and he was like, "This is when we wanted to end it," which is always good.
Yeah.
Don't want to continue it. No. I'm glad HBO has done all 3 of his big shows. Like he's been with them a long time.
Yep.
Anyway, so I just wanted to say that this is another show that's just reliably really funny, consistently good, very creative too. And every season they do at least one episode that's like a flashback. And I will mention this opener. As we're recording this, actually the second episode will be out. But the opener episode is it was very surprising to me what they did with this. Very unexpected. I didn't think they would open the final season with this. And they always have some really great guest actors on, and this one had a very great guest actor for the opener.
Nice.
Longer episode 2, flashback in some way, but very, very, very different, and it was awesome. So, yeah. It's a great show, so check it out if you haven't. And it's just, man, he always gets the best cast that just like his sister, I think is besides obviously Walton Goggins is Baby Billy. Like he's always number one for me. But his sister, the way she says stuff is just is so good every time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my first one. So yeah, what's your other one? I'm gonna be interested to see if this is
Cobra Kai season 6.
Oh no, you're right.
It's like
I'm on like season 2. Yeah.
I just wanted to shout out. So I know they broke it into 3 parts, and so I was kind of waiting until part 3 came out, which was actually like back in January or early February, something like that. Okay. And I just kind of hadn't gotten around to, we know I'm busy traveling a lot. But finally I was like, oh, I need something a little lighthearted to watch before bed. And, because the show is kind of goofy, but in a good way. And so I started watching it, and I ended up, watching 3 or 4 episodes because I've forgotten how good a job they do on this show of just like, you watch, and I mean, it's not like major cliffhangers, but just enough to like keep you wanting to watch. And again, it's season 6, and it's still, I would say, just as good as at least season 1. Obviously, it's hard to capture but this show has been so consistent over the seasons. It's still like the same. Just there's something about that, like the underdog story that and they capture it so well. Yeah. They capture so well, but it's also just so cheesy and lighthearted in the good way. But seeing a bunch of people fight karate is always fun. Oh yeah, that's
awesome. But they do so well with connecting it to the original Karate Kid movies too. Yeah,
and then also like watching, I was like, I'm excited for the film then that brings some of the people from the show.
So that is happening. They are doing a final.
I think there's a trailer. I've seen a trailer. For it. Yeah, there's like a film that'll be on the theaters that has, and I think Jackie Chan's back in it and
sick.
Yeah, and then what's his name? That's plays Daniel Caruso, the original Karate Kid.
Oh yeah,
Ralph Macchio.
Ralph Macchio.
Yeah, he's in it.
Has his acting gotten better? Because I know you said he didn't like it that much.
No, he's not that good of an actor, but like, it doesn't matter. Again, like
no.
It's kind of
what
plays into the cheesiness of this.
I think you like this show also because I vaguely remember you having a. I know you love the movies growing up, but like,
Oh yeah,
you did karate, didn't you?
yeah, yeah.
As
in
a kid,
Portugal.
yeah, I remember. That's what it was. Okay, because I don't remember. Okay, so I wasn't around yet for it.
Correct.
Yes,
You
or was I?
you might have been born by then. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. You were probably born by then.
Well, anyway, I
Yeah,
know that
but-
was a big.
Yeah,
thing for you
well,
as well.
part, but I mean, it was because of the movie that like Mike and I
Mhm.
wanted to do karate
Yeah.
and took karate lessons. But and we were, yeah, it was. You probably would have been born at least somewhat because we were doing it up until we moved back here,
Okay.
and then part of the reason we kind of fell off of it was because we moved back to the States, and then like didn't immediately like find a place to take karate here, and
Yeah.
then you kind of fell off of it. So, but yeah, just shout out to consistency and yeah, good, and it feels like it's going to go out strong. So
Yeah, I can't imagine they mess it up at the very end.
Yeah.
At this point, if it's been good this whole time.
Yep.
Awesome.
yeah. So what else did you watch?
My other one is a new show that I've been looking forward to for a while, called Dope Thief.
Oh yeah,
On
I've got
Apple.
them on my list to check out. I just didn't get a chance to watch
Okay,
it.
this is the one I was wondering if you checked out yet or not.
Well, both the things you both. I mean,
Oh,
both
right.
have been on my list to watch. Is on my list to
Yeah.
watch. Just haven't watched.
This one I've been looking forward to for a while because not only Brian Tyree Henry is one of my favorite actors. I loved him since Atlanta, which is one of my favorite shows. Think he's great and everything. And him, the other actor is Wagner Moura, but they're dynamic and banter back and forth, which is a big part of the show, is what really makes the show so good. And Brian Tyree Henry is just so good at that. Anyway, he did it a lot in Atlanta. I don't know. I just like his vibe a lot. And he's hilarious too. But he can do serious very well too. And also Ridley Scott is somewhat involved with the show. I found out.
He directed the first episode.
Yes, that's what I wanted to mention. And I imagine that's probably it. And then he's just like
Yeah, I think it's the only-
executive producer, probably the rest
I don't
or
know.
whatever.
I didn't look to see, but yes,
Yeah.
I just know he directed the first episode.
Yeah, which is awesome. So anyway, I really like this show. I don't really want to explain like the plot too much, but just even just their dynamic between the two main actors, I really like. So I hope it continues past just this first season. I hope they keep it going. I like on Apple lets people do what they want to do a little bit more, which I appreciate, and don't cancel stuff as much as Netflix. So yeah, so really fun. Man, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's on, I guess I said, that's on Apple. Gemstones is HBO. So,
Yeah, and
oh, yours. Cobra Kai is Netflix.
Netflix, yeah, and then Apple Vision,
Apple
which
Vision Pro.
which is like kind of on Apple.
Yeah, but I can't watch it
Yeah.
unless I'm here and use your Apple Vision Pro. All right. Are you ready for base or waste?
I am.
Okay. All right.
It's time for Based or Waste.
Welcome back to Base or Waste. Waiting for Josh to get the
Oh, I need the
the
board. Well, you
whiteboard.
can go without the.
Yeah, I know. No, I'll still talk. I just this is the game show. Also, I need to always say this up front. Play along at home. Let us know how you do. Let us know if you like the show. If you hate it, we're still going to do it anyway, though, because we like doing it. But anyway, you should still participate. This is based on Rotten Tomatoes audience scores. We go check and see what's trending, which changes a lot. And I picked 10 either TV shows or movies. And
Markers.
oh, you need a marker? Okay. So we just check what's trending, and Josh is going to guess if they are good or bad, if they're base or waste. No marker? Josh is looking for a marker.
Yeah, you might have to cut.
No, that's okay. We'll keep going. This is authentic. We're also doing TV this week, Josh. I don't remember how you did. We're doing a little better now in general, but there we go. We got it. So we're back to TV. I believe you did better last week. Somewhat.
Kind of, yeah. It's like give you too much credit here.
Yeah, we'll see. So we're now to TV. There's a good mix of some a little bit older stuff, but some brand new things too.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. This first one, this is the only one I wasn't sure if we did already or not, but that's okay. Daredevil, Born Again.
I'm gonna say based.
Yes, 82, as it should be.
Yeah, I haven't watched the third episode yet, but
I'm saving a little bit, and I didn't mention already, but I am going back and watching through Daredevil and Punisher again.
Nice. But yeah, the first two episodes were good. So
Yes, they were. Yeah. All right. I had to throw this one in here. This is so random, but With Love, Meghan, which is Meghan Markle.
oh,
Is that her name?
yeah, I know you're talking about.
And she has a new show. This is her second show. She had a
She
show
did.
before this,
She did.
apparently, too. What was it?
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
But I had to throw this in. I was like, she's doing a new show.
I mean, people love them some
With
Megan.
Love, Meghan, though. What is it about?
I don't know. Let's say based.
Incorrect. This is a 20.
Oh,
This is very bad, apparently, right now.
Maybe try to get back on Suits. That might be better.
Oh, is that where she started?
Yeah. She was on Suits before. Then
Before
she
actually
left Suits
marrying
to marry the prince or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why they wrote her off of Suits.
Isn't Suits coming back?
They did a reboot
Yeah.
or like a spinoff from like Suits LA or something like that.
Yeah, this is crazy. This is 20, so this is really bad. Currently, at least. We'll see how much changes, but all right. White Lotus, season 3.
based.
Yes, 87. We might have done that one too, I don't remember. But some newer stuff I want to see how it
Pans
even
out
if we
after it's
have
been out
done
for a little
it.
bit. Yep.
Yes. And see how it
See if
changes.
shifts. Yep.
Yeah, this is 87. All right, this one I believe you mentioned last week, Deli Boys.
Oh.
It's a little trickier one.
Yeah.
You didn't really like it, actually.
I didn't care for that much. Yeah.
But what does the general...
Do you know what I'm going to say? I'm just going to say...
America,
I'm going to say
the
waste.
world. What is
I'm
the
going to say
world?
waste.
No. Base 79.
Oh, wow.
Pretty high, I know. I have not checked it all at all, though. You know, you're more familiar with it.
Come on, people.
Are you thinking that the audience score is starting to get skewed also like the critic score?
Just wondering who the heck...
There seems to be some ones lately that I'm a little baffled by with audience scores, but yeah. All right, now this is one I just mentioned, Righteous Gemstones season 4.
I'm going to say based.
Yes, this is a 73, which is wild. That means this is rated lower than Deli Boys. Like, come on. And I've never even seen Deli Boys, but like,
But there's no way.
Gemstones should be higher than that.
Yeah.
I'm sure the other seasons are. Maybe this will go up. This is a new season, but
Yeah, and Deli Boy's probably going to go down. The more people
yeah,
check it
probably, yeah. Because that's another thing is just because I try to find new stuff that's trending, stuff that we know about, but then like also sometimes I gotta check and there's not even an audience score yet. So it's like there has to be enough people rate it, but then like if there's only a few people that rated it, could be very skewed. You know, it's better when you get a lot more going,
Yeah.
a lot more people. So, all right, halfway through now. Halo. This is for both seasons of the TV show. That's very divisive. I
Yeah.
like it though, but it is very divisive.
Audience score.
Yeah.
I'll say based on the audience score.
Yes. A little low, but yes, base 61.
Yeah. That's kind of how I was thinking.
Around 60.
I figured like enough people probably like it and they're fans of Halo.
But that's why a lot of people don't like it, because it's not consistent with the games at all, which is normally an issue for me, but
It's not.
I still like the show.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think it got better as it went, but it's canceled now. All right, this other one. This one's obscure. I've seen it, but this is the TV show Snatch, based on the movie, like the early 2000s movie Snatch. I don't know why this is trending right now though, but this is just a TV version of the film. Actually had a good cast, but it was on a weird thing like Crackle or something.
Yeah.
Remember Crackle?
I do remember Crackle, but I never really watched it.
Maybe it's on Netflix now, and maybe that's why it's trending.
Maybe that would make sense.
Yeah.
I'm going to say based.
Yep. 69.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember liking this somewhat. I don't remember how much I liked it. This came out a while ago. I'm going to guess a lot of these more obscure shows have been starting to get put on Netflix and other places, which is good. So, all right. This one is The Punisher, season 1 and 2, both. The Netflix Punisher.
Based.
Yep, 79. All right, you should, well, we'll see how you do with these last two. These could be tricky. Okay, this one, I know why this is trending. Echo. The Marvel.
I mean, this. I'm going to say this is waste.
No, it's on the line, but it is based. Maybe it's gone up a little bit. It was definitely in the waste. I remember when it came out, I saw the score. So it's gone up slightly to a 60 at least currently. But we talked about it on the pod. It's not good.
Yeah, it was not good.
No. But you know,
It's unfortunate.
people need to. That was somewhat of a continuation of Daredevil and Kingpin
and Arrow, not Arrow.
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye.
Yeah, that was the other thing. Which that was not trending though, which is interesting. All right, last one. Poker Face. Season 2 just got announced. The date.
So that's why.
There's a trailer.
I mean, I say
This is
based on
season
season
1.
1. Season 1's going to be based.
Yeah. 81. Okay. About an average again. I think you got 7 last time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been a while since I've gotten over 7. More like 6 or 7.
It was like a 6 on average. 7 now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for playing, Josh. That has been Based or Waste. Let us know how you did. And tune in next week.
All right. So, Jared.
Yeah.
Devour fetch.
I know you're going for, though. Devour feculence.
Feculence. I know. I don't know why I couldn't say it. Because I went straight face.
That's great that you went for that one as your intro. Great one.
Yeah.
Great scene. We will definitely talk about that.
So what do you got?
Empathy awaits, Josh.
Well, I wish you would take them raw.
That's yeah. Josh, it's just O&D and the goat people.
You don't know that.
Yeah.
All right, so this is time to get into Severance Season 2, Episode 9, The After Hours.
Yes.
Crap. I forgot to grab the...
Uh-oh. Yeah, I need to know what the
I know you always like these. Yeah.
Yes. How short it is.
We'll grab it real quick off of...
Wait, let me guess. I don't know. It will be like a very quick. The team. Oh, the team teams up, or something like that, or the MDR teams up. Mark teams up, something like that.
I don't know how to do this on. Oh my gosh, I've never done it on the app here to like see an individual episode.
Oh, just go to the actual episode and click on the actual episode list, and then go to that one.
Yeah, but that's
And it'll
what I don't see the episode list on here.
It's at the top. It's always at the top. Oh no, wait.
There, episode guide. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, I do always do it on the computer. So
Yeah, it is weird on the app.
all right, Mark and Devin team up with an ally. Helly investigates further.
Okay, I was on the right track.
Yeah,
little longer actually than normal.
A little bit there. So so what are your overall thoughts on this episode, Jared?
It seemed like a kind of like a goodbye episode for a lot of characters, which is sad.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope it's not actually the last we see of them, but I'm interested to see how that'll play out in the future, whether we get them back or not. I hope we do. But I still thoroughly enjoyed this episode though. Only thing I would say, does seem like, which I think I talked about this beginning of the season, does seem like they're spinning their wheels a little bit leading up to the finale, more so than they have really ever in this show. And I'm not sure why they're doing that for this episode. Yeah. You didn't get that in this one?
I mean, this one it felt like some of the ones mid-season where it's like
Right. Yeah, but think about like the penultimate season 1. Definitely not.
No, well, penultimate season 1 was led up to them figuring out the access to.
It was kind of like a A and B. Like they kind of went together. The last two.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a finale.
And so this. I mean, I think because you kind of had some big information dropped in the 2 episodes before this, and I think that was like, what was the episode? There's some episodes in there in the middle where it was like, okay, slowing down a little bit just to kind of let things breathe a little bit. And I feel like this is kind of setting everything up for this final episode. Yeah. There's a lot of like that kind of stuff of like getting, but I mean, I think there was still some interesting stuff in this and I thought it was enjoyable.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so.
It's still a very good episode and there's still a lot of really, really awesome scenes in this episode. It's just, I don't know, something about it. It just seems like it's.
See, I didn't feel that at all in this one.
Really? Okay. Especially with the way the episode ended too, but we'll get there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get into it. So we open with Helena swimming laps in a indoor pool.
Mm-hmm.
And then she kind of shows up and sits down to have breakfast with her father, James.
It's a really sick house.
Yes.
Like crazy. I think the implication is she lives here with him.
Yeah, that seems to be.
Yeah.
It seems to be implied.
Not really, because we see her swimming and having breakfast with him, but like I'm assuming she lives there with him.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the assumption. She says, "Won't you eat?" He says, "I'll watch."
He says the weirdest things always.
Yes. And then she starts eating. We get this crazy cool shot of her splitting the egg. And then even like just the revealing of the little
design on the plate.
Yeah, design on the plate. The weird Egan like looking Kier something. Yeah. Design on the plate. And then
perfectly like symmetrical of the way they lined up the slices of the egg.
Do you remember these like egg slicers? I remember them as a kid having it.
I vaguely do.
Yes. Egg slicer thing.
I remember more the Apple one.
Apple. It's very similar.
That one we use a lot.
Yeah, the Apple one was similar, but the egg one doesn't have the core thing. Like it's designed to not. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we get the line where he's like, "I wish you would take them raw."
Yes. This seems to be. Because like that, for instance, right? Like that's a callback to, one of the questions they would ask right after you get severed. What is Kieran's breakfast or whatever, and it's like, yeah, 3 raw eggs or something, which I imagine obviously James does that as well, because he's saying, seems like he's, not only with this scene, but with other scenes too, it seems like he's really priming Helena to be the next leader.
Yeah.
It really does seem that way.
Yeah. We assume it's his only child.
Well, we get some hints to he might have had many kids.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yes. I do
which
that.
is interesting, but yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So then it makes mention, we are meeting with Mr. Bailiff,
Irving, yeah.
which is Irving. Yeah. This is Irving's Audi.
Yep.
And then we see her riding in a car, and we get this awesome shot pullback of the house and find out it's like just literally right behind the water tower, behind the Lumen
Very close to the
corporate office. Then we switch to Miss Wong and Milchek, and she's graduating from her Wintertide Fellowship.
Yeah. I didn't realize this was going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
And so he states you will be moved to Gunnell Egan Empathy Center in Svalbard.
Yeah. Just like the middle of nowhere.
Yep. And
You know what he says after that, though?
what's he say? You will be
Where you work to steward global reforms. What does that mean?
just so generic.
It's just Lumen talk, but
Yeah.
like very specific Lumen talk, but
Yeah.
it's just
He says,
steward global reforms.
and he also says something about her like moving out of her parents and
Oh, yes.
removed from your bed, and something what he
Yes.
says about it. But
Mhm.
and then he says the handbook requires that you make this betterment with a material sacrifice.
Material sacrifice.
And he suggests the ring toss game.
Yeah.
And so you put down a cloth, and then you've been seeing on the table the whole time. It's one of those giant head busts of Kier
Right. That we were just introduced to.
that we just literally saw
last
the episode
episode.
for. That which again we assumed Harmony graduated from the same program.
Yep.
Same school. So she hits that. She uses it to smash the ring toss game, and it's very disturbing because they do such a good job of making it feel disturbing.
Mm-hmm. Seems like Milchek is also getting out some anger and frustration of his own. Because
Yeah,
how many times he's telling her to
Kind of
again.
paybacks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kind of like, trying to, I think he's probably sped up her graduation so that he can get rid of her.
Right, because she says, I thought I would finish the quarter or whatever.
Yeah.
she
And then
says.
he's like, nope.
Yeah.
And then he forces her to break her favorite thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a retaliation to how she was a little disrespectful to him.
Mm-hmm.
Which we get some more from Milchek later.
Oh, yeah.
Then we are with Dylan and Gretchen in their kitchen, and she tells them she kissed his innie.
Mm-hmm.
Which this conversation is hilarious.
It is, and I'm glad they didn't prolong this too long. I'm glad that she went right to it.
And then I forgot to write down this quote. Did you have his quote? What he says?
I mean, all I have is he says this is so many dimensions of effed up.
Yeah.
But he says some other stuff too.
Yeah. But he gets mad and he storms out. But no, it's like that's what I meant. I remember he said something like that, but I forgot for some reason. Yeah, so many dimensions of effed up. So it's, short. Then we go over to Irving.
Well, real quick, but when he's storming out, though, he basically was like, he's like, oh, maybe I'll just quit, and then basically I'll kill him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does threaten to. Yeah.
So it's interesting because we've been getting this, especially a lot more. We've been exploring the innies and outies. Like, are they actually a separate person? And so obviously, to them, to these two at least, they do see them as pretty separate and not the same person.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, because obviously she's feels like she needs to confess this because it feels like a separate person. He's upset because to him it's a different person. But then she does, and it's interesting because this is what we speculated even before. It reminds her of the like early days of who he was before, and she even states that.
Yep.
Which is not surprising because, you know, I'm sure Dylan's acts like younger version of Dylan.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Then we get the scene where Irving shows up to his house and he can tell someone's there, and it turns out Bert is sitting there.
Yeah. Because he sees his dog.
He's reading his notes.
Radar is staring into the other room.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a really cool reveal of Bert. Yeah.
Yeah. And Bert is reading his notes. And obviously there's some things that are kind of offensive that he said about Bert.
Mm-hmm.
And Irving tries to apologize, and Bert's like, why don't we go for a ride?
Yeah. I like that Bert says we never use the word goon.
Mm-hmm.
And he even says it, which is something I've kind of been mentioning several times this season especially. He says, with Lumen, the language is always very specific. So, interesting. But,
yeah.
I like that It is crazy the way he says, like, oh, let's go for a ride. And then we don't get to see what's next after that for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, crazy.
So we're back on the testing floor, and the doctor is watching Gemma, and he calls Drummond, who calls Milchek, and says, the numbers aren't moving. It's 9:00.
Yep. Cold Harbor is still stuck at 96%.
Yep.
And Devin and Mark are driving to meet Cobell. It's like kind of it's at the same time.
Yeah.
Like,
and so, yeah, well, and I get to that, but like this, so it's like, where's Mark? Why is he not at work?
Yeah.
And then even Helly shows up to work and no one's really there. And she kind of yells for Mark.
That's right. Yeah.
She yells for Mark. She's kind of like, Mark. And then we cut, Mark is in the car with Devin. Just have a note, like I like this old Land Rover. It's pretty sweet, sick. I like seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're driving. You assume they're going to meet Harmony Cobell. And then he gets the call from Milchek and he ignores it.
Yes.
Then we go to Milchek's office where Helly barges in and demands to know where Mark is. He calls her Helly R, and she corrects him. Don't you mean Helly E? Mm. And he kind of says, "Well, down here, you're a subordinate or something." He says something very demeaning to her.
Yeah. So they're even making a very specific distinction in like how you two are very separate.
Yeah. Very separate people.
Yeah.
Which is like a theme, like in this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so.
And so he's making a very distinction of that. She storms out. He tells her to leave it open as she slams it, which I thought was funny. And like call back to like when Mark was like,
very beginning of the show,
open her clothes, and she's like both.
Yeah.
Which they've talked about. That was ad-libbed.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's great.
Which I always think is funny.
Yeah.
Because it's such a great line. And then Dylan and Zenny is with Gretchen. She goes to see him and she tells him she told the Audi about them. And she says they can't see each other.
Yeah, he's like, was he happy?
Yeah. And she's like, we can't see each other anymore. And he's like, of course he's like, why not? And he tries to propose to her.
Yeah, it's
like
funny
a
also.
little ring mail, the finger trap.
Yeah. But it's funny when she's like talking to him. She even does almost like the classic thing where she's like, "Oh, you got so much going for you." Like, and he's like, "No, not really.
You got nothing down here."
Yeah.
The tchotchkes and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a great classic scene, but played out in this weird way.
Yeah.
Of course, she's like, we can't see each other, and she leaves. She ignores his proposal, and she's like, no, and like kind of. So then you see Dylan telling Helly. So like he finally shares that he's been seeing that kind of, they just jump right into the conversation though. But like it's obvious that he's shared, because this was a secret that none of the other Annies knew about. And so he's sharing this with Helly, that he's been seeing his wife. And she reminds him that Irving was his family, and about the note, which they talk about that. But he says some mean stuff, and it being her fault they were down there because of, I guess, being Helena, and then that Mark couldn't tell the difference between her and Annie, because she's like, I'm not her. And he's like, well, Mark couldn't tell the difference.
Mm-hmm. But she said Irving could.
And then she's like, yes, Irving could.
Yes.
Then we're back to Mark and Devin meeting up with Harmony.
Mm-hmm.
And they, I love the sarcastic comments from Mark.
Yeah, he's so great in the scene.
Yeah, it's so good. When she's like, "Oh, how are things?"
He's like, "Oh man, so good."
And then she's like, "You haven't completed the file yet."
My wife's being held prisoner at Lumen. I just got brain surgery in my basement. How have you been?
Yeah. Yes. But then she says, Cavell says, "You haven't completed the file yet, Cold Harbor. But if you have, she's already dead." So like
that's the big thing
so that she kind of reveals that like when this is done, they're going to kill Gemma.
Yeah, but I think it's more like this version of her is going to be.
Did you think she's a clone?
No, but okay. So this is my issue with this scene. This is kind of what I was thinking about, because like I love the scene. I especially love how sarcastic Mark is in this. But at the same time, this is where I think they sometimes take it too far, where he's like, she's just being so silent, not saying anything. She eventually says Cold Harbor and gives a little bit of information, but they're just like, what's going on? And even later throughout the episode, like they are waiting with her all day to nighttime, right? Which we'll get to. They get no more information out of her, which I just think is a little strange. But
well, I mean, I think she has developed a master skill at not revealing information she's not supposed to. I mean, that's like, because that's like part of the job that she's been doing for ages. Yeah. So she wants Mark to call Milchek and let him know, that she wants to call in sick so that they keep not looking for him.
Yeah.
Because she knows they're going to be looking for him if he doesn't just let him answer. Then we're back to the Ennies. Helly goes and gets the note, and Dylan wanders the halls upset, and she's starting to memorize the directions on the note. Then we get a quick scene of Irving and Bert in the car driving, and he says something.
And Radar, the best boy.
Yeah, and Radar. Yeah,
he's in the back seat.
Yeah,
I love that dog so much.
And he says something. I want you to know, I never hurt anyone.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a big reveal.
I'll just drive him somewhere and drop him off. I don't know what happened after that. So, yeah, it's kind of a little bit of good information there.
So somewhat confirmed that he was a Lumen enforcer. But also, seems like this is not the first time he's taken someone and like tried to save them in a way as well.
I mean, later we kind of get to... he is a, like he's felt guilty, but we already kind of heard that.
Oh, right. And Attila.
And then like he felt guilty for what he was doing. So the whole reason he got severed then.
Yes.
Which meant he probably changed his job, what he was doing at Lumen.
Yeah.
Was to like feel like he had some redemption.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go to a scene where Dylan is resigning as his Annie, which I thought was interesting because she went to talk to him probably to try to clear things up.
Yeah.
And really she made it worse by telling him he now is resigning. And then we get the scene where Drummond starts
I
talking.
like that he checks literally every box for the reason why.
Yes.
It also was a nice moment of like Miss Swan, like seemingly being sincere, like I'm sorry, and and Dylan's like, yeah, it's not your fault, which is true.
Yeah, but she tries to take responsibility. Then Drummond talking with Milchek. Is this tightening the leash? Drummond says it's all Milchek's fault. He thanks him. So Milchek thanks him for the remonstration. Says thank you for the remonstration. Drummond pushes him to say it simpler. He says sorry. He pushes more. Milchek says devour feculence.
Yeah, it takes a little while, but he finally.
The pacing and illness is great.
Yeah, it's great. But this is finally when he
and then he rips Drummond a new one, and works the system to saying that it's his fault. Like basically, like, hey, I'm in charge of Severed Floor, so when Mark's not here, it's not my problem. It's your problem.
Yeah, monosyllabically at the end, and then does it all one syllable for the rest of the words. Like he's like, to put it monosyllabically, and then whatever he says, it's all
it's all your fault.
It's great.
Just then, Milchek gets back to his office and he's getting a call from Mark. He answers that Mark promises to be there tomorrow. He's like, I just needed a day. Work is just work.
This was an awesome scene because, especially seeing how Milchek responds to this.
Well, because Milchek's feeling this kind of same thing. He's like, dude, like this place is starting to.
This is the first time he almost cries, or you can see him starting to tear up. It's like the first time ever.
Then we go to Bert and Irving showing up to.
The other thing though, I like these is besides just being like, yeah, I just needed a day, and like doesn't want to explain further, but like, I think this what really stuck with Milchek, as he says, isn't that what Lumen's all about? Balance, work is just work, right? That's when you see Milchek.
Yeah, you're right. And then we go to Irving. They show up to a train station. Bert gets a ticket for him. He says it's a one-way ticket for as far away as possible. So he's like, get off wherever. I can't know where you get off. Bert and this is where he says, I wanted to be severed to feel innocent again.
Yes.
Which is like, again, what did he do? Claims he didn't hurt anyone, but Irving wants to stay for Bert. And then when he's like, I'm ready. This is interesting. Because this is a callback to season 1. And if it is, how's he know? Unless he's already been reintegrated, which we speculate anyway.
Oh, right.
How's he know what he was saying when he's like, I'm not ready in season 1?
I think it's a callback for the audience. I don't think it's in reference to what they knew before.
You don't think Irving knew what he said?
No. No. At least that's how I took it. But it could be. I mean, yeah. But I thought it was more just a callback for the viewer watching.
Okay. And he's like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Okay. Just you never know.
But that's interesting if it is actually that they really,
because he kind of says it the same way.
He does.
But then he gets on the train and leaves in the end. And then we get this montage of people leaving. We get Dylan, Miss Wong, and Irving as they're getting ready to leave for the last time. And they have Dylan sitting there waiting by the elevator.
Yeah, this is the montage of like everyone.
Yeah, and then she's getting picked up.
Goodbye.
And Irving like riding off the sunset on the train. And it's nicely done, but like very emotional because it's like, I mean, don't get me wrong, Miss Wong is the least important of these three.
Yeah.
But definitely Dylan and Irving, you're like, okay, well, obviously they're gonna be back, right? Like they got to be back. They're part of the core 4.
That's the main thing. Is just like I don't know how they can move forward with this because we have to. Like this can't be. Even though it felt like it's like, this can't be just like them off the show forever.
Right.
Yeah.
Then we see El Heli and MDR again at night.
I want to real quick
Yeah.
go back to the final, the Bert and Irving conversation. Because I thought they did a really good job also, like, obviously the complex nature of love, but then, Bert is doing what is best for Irving to keep him safe, essentially, in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
But also really reminded me of, that's why I just posted a story on my Instagram about it, but it reminded me of the moment in Blade Runner 2049 that Deckard says to Kay, where he says, sometimes to love someone, you got to be a stranger. So it reminded me of that a lot. Plus, also, I just watched that movie so much, and it's just a great scene. But yeah, it reminded me of that a little bit, and kind of, which also makes sense why, he's like, you gotta, I can't know in any way, where you're going to be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, so then we see Helly R in MDR. And it's kind of like night. There's like a lot of lights are off in the floor. And she's memorizing the note, working on it.
Yeah.
And just as she's doing this, like Jamie Egan, like,
this is so weird,
standing creepily in the doorway.
I love how they do the focus because it looks like an alien because of the way the focus is, like the really long neck. It looks weird. And then they focus on it, which is also cool because I was like, I had no idea it was going to be him.
Yeah.
We see the elevator ding, but it's like, I don't.
Yeah. So and then he says, you tricked me.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
do you know what this is? I have no idea.
Well, so the obvious thing would be him. I mean, we're gonna say like not obvious. Shouldn't say the obvious, but like the straightforward is him talking to Helly R.
Okay.
And saying because she was on, like, because they used it at the end of season 1, right? And she talked to him, so meaning like Helly R is the one it tricked him into thinking it was Helena.
Yeah.
At the end of season 1, so that's the straightforward.
I don't think it's gonna be that easy.
Simple. No, I don't think it's that simple either. I think there's something else here going on. Maybe did Helena somehow sneak back down there? Maybe.
No, I don't think they would do that twice in the same season.
Maybe it's the whole point of that Helena isn't, like he didn't know that she was down there. Because remember, or wait.
Oh yeah, they did mention
he didn't know. They were like, we don't think he needs to know about this.
Yeah, they mentioned that we're not going to tell James.
Yeah.
So he just found out. I guess that's what it is.
Maybe he just found out that it's back to Helly and not Helena down there anymore.
Maybe.
Or maybe he still thinks it's Helena. I don't know. But there's definitely...
There's got to be something with that, yeah.
He found out something about the situation, probably. But the fact that he's... I mean, I guess... So anybody can go on that floor, right?
Yeah, and it is more after hours, but still, which, shout out episode name. Yeah. I don't know really what they're referencing with that. No, that's not true. I have a note about this for the end, but anyway.
All right. So then, anyway, so that's kind of an interesting spot to leave them. Then we go back to Harmony and Devin and Mark, and they're going to the birthing cottage. Yeah. And then we get this interesting scene with Harmony Cobell at
the security guard
with the truck, which you imply, like this is where she implies, because she points at Devin and Mark's kind of under the tarp in the back. And she's like, well, another James.
She's one of James. I think is how she says it. Yeah.
And so it kind of implying that he's had multiple children and they've had to deal with it.
That's what it seems like. Yeah.
And this is why they even are doing the severed thing there, so they can even let the people forget that they even had the kid.
Because it is strange that they would just make a place that you could do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right.
Or even better, like deal with it as an abortion and they don't even know it happened, right? And then they're just like, they have no memory of it.
Yeah.
And they're not pregnant anymore and it's like dealt with. So, but then they get past the security guard and then they go, and then we get this cool scene where like all of a sudden Mark's and he's there
sick. And
he's talking to Devin and like, yeah. And of course he wanted to go out, but she's like, well, you'll just be back in. And
I wanted to mention the thing that Cobell says to the security guard, very specific, after she says she's one of James, Miss Marsha White, 9th floor, specialties department. I'm looking for a gold thimble. So I'm like, okay, is this a very specific code,
Mhm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it seems like. And then I found out, I mean, it could still be a code, but it might also be a nod, very specific nod to the original Twilight Zone.
Oh,
I found out there's an episode called The After Hours.
okay.
And in this episode, it's about a woman that is, I think, called Marcia White. And she says literally this in the episode in some way. Ninth floor, specialties department. Like all this. So it might just be a nod to something that they love. I mean, a lot of people nod to the original Twilight Zone because it was, I mean, it's still incredible, but it was so revolutionary for the time. And it's for sure has an impact even on Severance. I mean, it does on most shows at this point. But
For sure.
anyway, so I thought that was interesting. I had no idea about the episode. Maybe I should rewatch that one.
Yeah. So she calms him down, and they head upstairs to talk to Harmony. And then we get this crazy framing where she's got like just the whole fireplace lit up behind her, which doesn't make her look evil at all.
Right. I know, even the way she's staring and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, that's where we kind of get our cut to black and end of the episode.
Well, saying, what was the last thing you told me?
Yeah.
She's alive. Oh, Devin asked Mark.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to ask you, what is the actual interaction that they're trying to do in this?
Well, I think they want to.
Does Cobell want to talk to?
She can talk through with the Annie, so then she can give him directions and information, so that he can go back in and do things, do stuff differently, and be intentional and have knowledge. Like the biggest thing of the Annie's black is knowledge, right? So if she's able to talk to him and kind of basically give him the lay of land of like what's happening and here's how to get around it and circumvent this and don't do this but do this, and he can then, hopefully get Gemma out, I guess is the goal, right?
I guess.
So you were talking about, you think this version of her might die, but when Cold Harbor's complete, yes. So what is your theory about that? That you're,
I don't really have a theory. I think that's what Cobell is meaning when she says Cold Harbor complete. She's already dead. I don't think she's dead like completely in every form. But I don't really know. Yeah, I think she's meaning like the original Gemma that Mark married is dead.
Okay.
Because to go back to the episode, I guess it was Chikai Bardo saying like, oh, what will happen when I'm done? He's like, the world will see you and you'll see the world or whatever. He says something weird like that. So they have to keep this, I don't think, and we already talked about, they're not doing the clone thing. So like, she's keeping this form. It's just they're refining, like you were talking about, her, I don't know, her memories and making her, I guess, behave in a certain way when they are done with Cold Harbor to then go out into the world. Maybe not just freely, because they probably are just a press conference type thing like they did in the end of season 1 or like an event to show her off. But I don't really know. I am still, the most intriguing thing is what is the final like test in the Cold Harbor room? Like seems to be very, I think it's going to be pretty scary for her either way, obviously.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like, so we've got Dylan leaving, Irving leaving, Long leaving. We got Helly at least looking into trying to do more, but then of course James shows up right, so we don't know where that's going to go. And then we got Mark potentially coming back to work the next day, which I'm guessing. So I'm guessing they're going to not show us the interaction with his conversation, right? They're just going to cut to like probably him showing up to work the next day.
Yeah.
And see how he does like the Mission Impossible thing and does like the, figured like has a very plan that they mapped out.
Yeah. Very specific plan. Yeah. So he could do it as fast as possible. I do want to say, besides obviously the finale is called Cold Harbor. Because we were talking about this episode was normal length, but Sweet Vitriol was short. I was bummed by that. The finale, I did see the runtime. It is
76 minutes.
Did you see it? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was happy about that.
Yes.
So I'm glad we're getting over an hour.
Yes.
Yeah.
Almost an hour and 15, or is it an hour and 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting.
Very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what else to really.
I don't know besides that.
Yeah.
But I think to me, that's one of the most intriguing things for the finale, because they have to, that you actually will see in the finale, because they have to, is what is in the Cold Harbor room? What is her Gemma's final test? Because of how terrified she already is with all the things she has to do. It's like, this has got to be on another level.
Then her and Mark's Audi finally seeing her. Because obviously Annie has seen her, just didn't know who she was.
Yes.
I think that's going to happen.
I also want to say there's got to be more to the final shot of Irving and Radar on the train, because he's smiling. Now, it could just be him smiling because of just how crazy the situation is. It could be him smiling because he's like, hey, I finally have found or felt love in my life, because he mentions he never has. It could be a lot of different things, but I just think it's interesting. That's the last shot we see of him. He's smiling.
Yeah.
Which is not really a time he should be smiling. So, I don't know.
Yeah. And then Dylan and Gretchen, I don't know what we're getting.
Yeah. That's the thing, though. It's a long episode, which I'm glad for the finale, but like, just like the first season finale, it's not going to answer everything.
No.
So
It's definitely got to set up some new questions. Or teases something new, but
the main thing, though, is like, how can they get back to, because a lot of people love and including us, like the MDR dynamic of the four of them. It's like, how are they going to get back to that ever?
I don't know, but they were able to do it this season, like for a while. Like,
Yeah.
they kind of reset things, and but
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. People smarter than us have this figured out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not. Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Well, what do you guys think for the finale? Definitely.
Let us know.
Let us know. Send feedback here, but also send right in. Let us know your thoughts for the finale. If either after you watch it, before we record, or before you watch it, just your thoughts on what might happen in the finale. Let us know. You can do that by either emailing us at feedback@screentimepod.com or DM or to put a comment in YouTube or whatever. We're on YouTube and everywhere else as Screen Time Pod, or like screen_time pod or something like that. Just you'll find it. And you can do that on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
Yes.
Everywhere.
We're all over. Yeah.
And if you'd like, you can follow Jared or I on Instagram. I'm at JYoungBar.
And I'm at Jared Youngbar.
All right. And praise Kier.